Good afternoon, friends. Satyamev Jayate, Satyam Vada Dharmachara. Welcome to the news desk on income tax, GST, and corporate laws. Let's start from the income tax. Delhi High Court. A question cannot be said to be pending under clause 1 of provision to section 245R subsection 2 upon issuance of a mere notice under section 143 subsection 2, especially when it was issued in a standard pre-printed format and question raised before the authority for advance ruling do not appear to be forming subject matter of the said notice. In this case, where read petition was filed challenging order passed by authority for advance ruling on ground that it was in violation of the jurisdictional bar under the provision to section 245 or subsection 2 as a revised return filed by the SEC was selected for a scrutiny under section 143 subsection 2. Notice issued since Section 143 notice was issued on ground that taxable income shown in revised return was less than taxable income shown in the original return, and large refund has been claimed. But issue before the advance authority ruling was whether royalty was taxable in the hands of the SEC at the time of actual receipt. And advance authority ruling held that notice under section 143 subsection 2 merely required SEC to produce any evidence in support of its return. Question cannot be said to be pending to attract a bar under clause 1 of provision to section 245R subsection 2, and thus there was no infirmity in approach adopted by the advance authority ruling. It's a good case. Second, Visakhapatnam Tribunal matter remanded back to adopt a stamp duty value of the property as on date of the execution of the sale deed for a capital gains. In this case, Visakhapatnam Tribunal held that as per the provisions to section 50C with effect from 1st April 2003, a stamp duty value of the property on date of the execution of the agreement to sell should be adopted instead of value on the date of execution of sale deed for determination of the capital gain. It means on the date of execution of the agreement to sell, adopted instead of value on date of execution of the sale deed. So date of execution of agreement to sell is the determining factors for calculating capital gain tax. Next, Madras High Court, management fees earned by SSE which was incidental to export business was eligible for section 10A relief. In this case, Madras High Court held that where SSE company was a 100% export oriented unit engaged in the business of assembling and exporting valves, management fees earned by SSE in nature of the export services which was incidental to business of export of valves would partake character of the profit and gains from BGVP was to be allowed exemption under section 10A on same. Let us start news on GST. Advance authority ruling Karnataka. Printed security excise levels are classified under heading 4911 attract 12% GST. In this ruling, rate of the tax applicable security excise adhesive levels under MHSN code 4911 is 12% for security excise adhesive level printed on job work basis as per requirement of Department of Excise. Another news, NIC has released updated API with improved validation. You may refer on a site. Also, there is given a reference of the in the box.nic.in. तो इस पे आप you may refer. E-invoice system has witnessed few improvement. Generate EWB by IRN has been improved to enable the generation of EWB in case of export by passing the address of the port from where it is getting exported later. Mobile app for verification of the QR code and sign e-invoice file has also been released. Another FAQ released by the NIC, e-invoice system highlights and frequently asked question released by the NIC. NIC has issued FAQ answering various queries regarding generation of the e-invoice. The queries resolve around the disclosure of other charges leviable to GST, value of non-taxable supply, etc. Issues regarding the printing of the QR code, amendment of in e-invoice, voluntary generation of the e-invoice, etc. have also been classified. Different matters on which classification shall be issued at a later point of time have also been listed in the frequently asked question. If anyone need a FAQ, please message on my WhatsApp number 95600 or email on given email ID on my YouTube video so that I can send you a FAQ released by the NIC if anyone need it. Another updation on the GST, Gujarat High Court, whether ITC can be blocked under Rule 86A due to non-filing of the GSTR 3B. Why vendor? Gujarat High Court accepted writ. Gujarat High Court, in this case, the petitioner challenged Rule 86A of the CGST rules to extend its gives power to block the ITC with no fault of the registered recipient and declare the said rule as ultra virus of section 16 of the CGST Act. The High Court issued a notice to the department to understand it non-filing of the GSTR 3B by seller for the relevant period would be sufficient to block the ITC, thereby invoking Rule 86A of the CGST rules. Another case by Guwahati High Court, demand notice issued for the recovery of refund granted to the assessee being erroneous, stayed until further orders. In this case, matter listed on 8 September 2020 to determine as to whether proposition of law laid down in subsequent decision of the Supreme Court would render refund made to the assessee of the EC and SHEC education session and secondary higher education due to exemption in excise duty, erroneous and consequently demand notice issued to assessee be stayed. Let's cover news on the company law. Andhra Pradesh High Court. No other investigating agency shall investigate a case which is already assigned by government to SFIO under Companies Act. In this case, Section 210 of the Companies Act deals with the power of the central government to order investigation into affairs of the company under circumstances enumerated in said section by inspectors to be appointed by the central government. Section 212 deals with the investigation into affairs of the company by serious fraud investigation officer. A reading of the section 212 makes it clear that without prejudice to section 210, where central government on receipt of a report of the ROC under section 208 on intimation of a special resolution passed by a company that its affairs are required to be investigated in public instance or on request from any department of a central government or a state government is of the opinion that it is necessary to investigate into affairs of the company by SFIO. It may by order assign investigation into affairs of the company to SFIO. Further, Section 212, subsection 2, mandate that where any case has been assigned by the central government to SFIO for investigation under this act, no other investigating agency of the central government or a state government shall proceed with investigation in such case in respect of any offense under this act, and in case any such investigation has already been initiated, it shall not be proceed further with an concerned agency shall transfer relevant document and records in respect of such offenses under this act to SFIO. Thank you for watching news desk on income tax, GST, and corporate law. Please share this news update among the professional colleagues and students so that they can get regular updation on the income tax, GST, FEMA, international taxation, transfer pricing, insolvency, bankruptcy code, RBI, and other allied laws, so that they can get regular updation on daily basis. Thank you so much.